Typical Hollywood, recycling the same old IP. It bores me to death. I'm sure it bores you to death. Come on, man. Come on. I wanted to talk about the Jurassic World movie that's coming out that no one cares about.
You crazy son of a bitch, you did.
Jurassic World Rebirth. Set 5 years post-Jurassic World Dominion. I can't even remember that movie, I'll be honest with you. An expedition braves isolated equatorial regions to extract DNA from 3 massive prehistoric creatures for a groundbreaking medical breakthrough. Didn't Dominion literally just wrap up? I mean, wasn't that movie like last year? I swear this movie just ended. 2021. So, and this movie's slated for what, probably 2025. So he's looking at like 3-4 years. I just think that's too close, man. Too close together. So we're just gonna kind of go through this movie real fast. Director, Gareth Edwards. Okay, I like what he allegedly did in Rogue One. Word on the street is that he didn't exactly do all of the good parts. So, you know, it's kind of interesting for somebody who directed Rogue One, which was a monster of a movie. He hasn't done really shit since. 7 years later, he did The Creator. And The Creator, I kind of wanted to see in theaters, but just it looked like a generic space movie. So I don't know what the stigma is with this guy. You know, if you direct a Star Wars movie and it takes you 8 years to make your next movie, there's something going on. But he did Godzilla before that. That's how he actually got the Rogue One movie. So Godzilla, I liked it. My biggest problem with that movie, again, I'm not going to rehash what everyone's already said, is Godzilla is just simply not shown enough. It shows too much of the humans. Too much of Quicksilver, too much Scarlet Witch. They kill fucking Bryan Cranston off way too soon. I mean, the trailers just pumped him up and then they just kill him off. But this basically launched what universe we're in now as far as Godzilla. And in this movie, Godzilla is kind of a slow-moving creature who's just causing havoc accidentally, but going after these things. The Godzilla now, he's doing full running auto sprints, hanging out with King Kong that has a cast on his arm. He's got pink on his back. It's very cartoonish now, but this started it all. They kind of probably should have kept the same tone. I probably would have been more invested in this universe. But that said, not to get a little derailed, Gareth Edwards is directing this. He's a competent director. This may be a nice contained story for him. So we'll see what he brings to that. They released some photos. They're bringing Scarlett Johansson. I don't think any amount of star power is going to save this movie. You know, Chris Pratt certainly didn't save or make the last 3 any better. Bryce Dallas Howard didn't save the last 3. This is not about star power making these movies good. What made the original movie great wasn't the star power. These people were not stars back in 1993 or whenever the first one came out. The story was there. It was the story. Now they're turning all of these movies into action movies, and that's just not the right direction to go. Jonathan Bailey, who the fuck is this? English actor, of course. Oh God, Bridgerton. Jesus. Okay, so they got a guy from Bridgerton. Awesome. Great. So what they're doing is they're sticking generic British guy number 643 into this movie alongside Scarlett Johansson. What's unfortunate is this guy has to know he wasn't the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th choice for this role. So many people probably had to drop out for this movie. Then they released this second image with Mahershala Ali. I always butcher his first name. He's a good actor. I think a little overhyped, to be honest with you. I mean, there's nothing wrong with anything that he's done. I just think that he's a little overhyped. Last thing I think I saw him in was True Detective, and that season was better than the second one for sure, but it wasn't anything to write home about. So they got him as Duncan Kincaid. Pretty epic. Of course, they have to use flares because everyone has to use flares in Jurassic Park. It's just a callback to Grant and Ian with the flares and the T-Rex at night in the rain. This is just something, I guess, to get somebody excited. Look, hey, a guy with a flare. Cool. Who else is here? Scarlett Johansson, this guy, and really just a bunch of other replaceable people. So it looks like they're gonna have to lean heavily on ScarJo. And I mean, she can do no wrong. She's great. But again, these movies are not about the star power. And that's kind of what they've gotten away from, is they need to make these Jurassic Park movies more story based. And the story, we're 5 years post Jurassic World Dominion. An expedition braves isolated equatorial regions to extract DNA from 3 massive prehistoric creatures for a groundbreaking medical breakthrough. I'm sure they're going to cure cancer or something like that. Go on an adventure with raptors chasing them, and close calls with some kind of weird T-Rex looking creature, and then a T-Rex is going to come out for a nostalgic. I'm not really looking forward to this. And if we go back, so first one, let's just kind of go through these real quick. Jurassic World. I didn't think this one was bad at the start. The idea was there. Okay, they've created, humans, as stupid as we are, we've created a new park. We've created a new park on an island. Colin Trevorrow, he's gonna come in, direct the shit out of this. We got Star-Lord, we got Bryce Dallas Howard. It wasn't a bad movie. And if they just left it at that, that would have been fine. The problem is it made, let's see how much fucking money this movie made. It made $1.67 billion on a $200-ish million budget. Cha-ching. Okay, so there is no way they're not going to make more of these movies. Typical Hollywood, recycling the same old IP. It bores me to death. I'm sure it bores you to death. Come on, man. Come on. Okay, the movie, while it used, I think, arguably a little too much CGI, and again, that's what made the first movie special, was the practical effects with the raptors, the T-Rex, the Jeep, the mud, everything. The practical effects were just phenomenal. They just kind of got away from this. And they also just made it a fucking action movie. When you hover over action film, you have fucking Sylvester Stallone. Now, when you think of Jurassic Park, do you think of Sylvester Stallone? No. I look at it more as like a thriller. I mean, the main people are just running from dinosaurs, so it's not really action. I would rate that movie probably on a scale of 10. Probably give it a 7. A 7 as far as entertainment value. Okay, then they made Fallen Kingdom. I remember they showed the beginning over and over and over as the trailer of Chris Pratt running, on the island, the volcano erupts. That part was cool. But they spend most of this movie off the island. They spend most of this movie in a haunted mansion. And it just doesn't work. You have people buying dinosaurs for, I don't know, $30 million. A dinosaur would not cost $30 million. There's no way in hell. 6.1 out of 10 on IMDb. But then they went full fucking action with Dominion. And again, I didn't see this in theaters. It just looks so fucking corny. You do the same thing that these other IPs are trying to do. The Force Awakens and Beetlejuice, and you bring back the original cast. Ain't nobody trying to see Sam Neill, Jeff Goldblum, and Laura Dern's 65-year-old asses anymore. Okay, don't sully their reputations. Don't do that. But this is a full-blown action movie. We have motorcycles. We have raptors chasing motorcycles through the streets. We have guns, battles, and raptors attacking people, lasers and noises. The movie is just such garbage. Such fucking garbage. To come back to this IP 4 years later, how much did this movie make? Jurassic World. So Jurassic World made 1.6. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom made 1.3. Okay, so we're going down. And Jurassic World Dominion made 1.4. A $600 million drop off. I've got a strong suspicion that this new movie, given the fact that it's only 4 or 5 years after in real time, there's no way. I don't think this movie breaks a bill. I would be surprised if it made over $750 million. I don't think Jurassic World Rebirth is going to make over $700 million. That's my bold prediction. Okay, so that's really all we know about the movie. And I don't know why they're rushing to do this. I think you give people a little bit of a break. I just feel like that movie came out not too long ago. I mean, they still repeat it on the TV constantly. And what is this shit? So they're just abandoning the Jurassic Park, but we're still going to use the fucking T-Rex logo. Okay, find your own fucking logo. So they're calling this Jurassic, this isn't even Jurassic Park 7. This is Jurassic World 4? This movie's not breaking a bill. It's not breaking 750. Let's see what these bad boys are ranked. Woo-wee! Rotten Tomatoes has Jurassic World Dominion at a 29% and then a 77% audience score. It's the worst of the franchise. Not surprising. No wonder Chris Pratt just wanted it. He probably made his $50 million off it and he's moved on. Next up, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Okay, so the last 2 movies that they've made are garbage. Jurassic Park 3. I mean, I like how they brought back Sam Neill. It is kind of a corny movie. I do appreciate their attempt to use practical effects. This movie has a lot more memorable scenes than any of the last 2. You have the part where Dr. Grant is in the airplane and the raptor goes, "Alan!" awesome. The phone inside the dinosaur's stomach, William H. Macy, the crash landing of the plane, all that stuff, the pterodactyl cage. I think that movie is very underrated. I think it's some of the special effects, aren't quite there, but I mean, it's a 2001 movie. The movie was probably made like in the 90s, late 90s. So they put in The Lost World, 53, 51, still light years better than the last two pieces of shit they put out. The Lost World, Jurassic Park. This movie, this is the one that I remember seeing in theaters on more than one occasion, and I was young. I was super young. But you bring back Ian, this one had some questionable special effects. This introduced the baby T-Rex. It had all the hunters, going after the dinosaurs. It had the T-Rex in the big city, eating the dog and the doghouse and all that. This movie also has way more memorable scenes than these two piles of shit. Easily. I think you could watch 1, 2, and 3 and be like, okay, they're not as good as the first one, but they're a hell of a lot better than the new trilogy. I think that's an argument that could be had. So then they put Jurassic World at number 2 at 71-78. I think this has a lot to do with nostalgia. I just think the heavy use of CGI and I know they're throwing Chris Pratt into everything. Yeah, I still have to put this one probably below the first 3. There's not too many memorable scenes that I think are good in this one. There's comedy. There's when he's like, Blue, no. There's that kind of stuff. Nothing's memorable other than maybe a CGI pterodactyl with a raptor head picking up the assistant and dropping her poor ass into the megalodon cage or whatever the hell dinosaur that is. But that was funny. It had nothing to do with the actual movie. There's not a whole lot of tension. I mean, when you have Bryce Dallas Howard running from a T-Rex in high heels with the flare, not a whole lot of tension. There's just no tension. I mean, in Jurassic Park 3, when they're in that big bird cage and you're like, holy shit. Jurassic Park 2, the 2 T-Rex scene with the bus hanging over the cliff, just a lot more tension. And then you get to the Mac Daddy of them all, Jurassic Park. It's the gold standard, 92, 91, and they need to just stop trying to recreate the magic. It was a very well-contained thriller with people running from dinosaurs. Every scene in that movie is iconic. Every scene. From the beginning, when he's digging up dinosaurs, to the helicopter ride over, to the tram ride when they're watching the cartoon, the DNA cartoon, to the little raptor being born, to the raptor being eaten. Every scene is iconic. And, you start up here and you just all the way downhill. I mean, how is this movie not 100%? It has a thrill or 2 and a chill or 3, but has no poetry, little sense of wonder, no resonant subject. Who the fuck is this guy? Shitting on Jurassic Park. Talk about trying to be unique. I did not feel that I wasted my 2 hours or my $7, but I was deeply disappointed by much of them. What are you talking about, bro? An economic necessity of securing a PG certificate for what is essentially a horror film has been allowed to intervene in the storytelling, so that the tone is constantly disrupted by the incongruous reassurance. Oh, I love the critics that just have to use super big words because they can write. It's just a shame what they're doing to this franchise, this beloved franchise. And the guy was right. It could be argued that this is a horror movie. Jurassic Park could be a horror, classified as a horror movie. These people are running from a giant, man-eating, scary as fuck, 60 million year old prehistoric killer. But anyway, Jurassic Park Rebirth, what are they doing, dude? By 2031, which is insane to think about because that's so far away, we're going to be on Jurassic World 6, Jurassic Park series, Jurassic number 9. It's just too much. It's too much. But I'll stand by it. I don't think this movie's going to make over $750 million at the box office. It's no Wolverine. It doesn't have the same draw as Wolverine. The last one made a bill. I don't think Scarlett Johansson, as great as she is, has the same draw as a Chris Pratt, for whatever reason. I'll leave that up to you to decide. I don't think she has the same draw. Is she a better actor? Of course she is. But I don't think people are going to clamor to come see this movie because of her. I'll undoubtedly see it, but I will see it begrudgingly.